Welcome, one and all, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 362 of Scotch and Smoke Rings. I am your neighborhood friendly Oxhorn, and it's a pleasure to have you on the program again today. We've got a great show for you, and by we, I do mean me. Don't worry, there's not going to be anyone else on the program today. Madman Max is in the chat and says, oh, he was talking to somebody else. Good evening, Ox, says the Bancy Fadger. Pleasure to see you again, Bancy Fadger. All for 17 says, evening there to you, fine sir. Imagine Justin says, here he is, and ladies and gentlemen, the most classiest man in the world. Give it up for Oxhorn. It's classiest, man, not most classiest. Most classiest is a double pejorative. If you're the classiest, that means you're already the most of something. You were the most of class. It's like saying, not, like a double negative, only a double pejorative. Anyway, thank you very much. I do appreciate yeah, here I am correcting his grammar. What is wrong with me? Nexus Dark Raven says, hello there, good sir. Pleasure to have you on the program. Daniel Cleary says, aye, Oxhorn, how you been? Love the series. Keep up with the settlement builds. Thank you very much. It's great to have you on the program. Don't you worry, I will continue with the settlement builds. It is what I do. Cigar Ox says, welcome to Mustache Theater. I am your host, Alistair Oxhorn. Wow, we're getting very Poirot today with our names, aren't we? Imagine Justin says, it's fine, good sir. I don't mind at all. Well, that's good. Well, I don't have any lag on my end, even though my text at the bottom of the screen is kind of hitching, and I don't understand why. Look at that. Why is it doing that? I mean, my stream isn't hitching like that, is it? Maybe I should just turn that off. Whoa. There. No, wait. There. There we go. Now we're not going to get distracted by that. Nexus Dark Raven says, have you ever tried using Build Anywhere mod and making structures outside of normal settlements? You could find a nice Fallout 4 landmark and make it a settlement. That's true. What I am considering is using the Conquest mod. Conquest is a cool mod, and what it does is it gives you a camping set that you can take around with you around the wasteland, and whenever you find a spot where you want to set up camp, you throw it on your camping set, and you can sleep and you can do all sorts of stuff, but once the campsite is set up, you can actually turn it into a full-fledged settlement. And you can use the Conquest mod to do that to 10 different spots around the Commonwealth. So I am considering using that mod for future builds, but we've got Vault Tech Workshop to get through. We've got the revisions of all of the other settlements. I need to do revised videos for all of the settlements, like I did with Grey Garden this week. And I'm doing a new series of lore videos. You'll remember that this week I published a video on the Turnquist family, which was a lot of fun, and it was really well received. So I'll probably be doing a lot more lore videos. And then, of course, more player housing mods. People seem to be liking those. So I've got quite a lot of content ahead of me, and there's no shortage of content. The only thing there is a shortage of is time. Richard Nixon says, good afternoon, my fellow American. Good afternoon, Richard Nixon. Just like you are not a crook, I am not a crook. Let us not be crooks together this fine evening. What happened? There we go. Deadly Drew says, hey Ox, and greetings all. It's Andy the DK here. Well, pleasure to have you on the program, Andy. What's with the name change? Are you on a different account? Imagine Justin says, I got a bit of lag when the show started out. Hopefully it'll clear itself up here in a bit. Napkin Thief says hi with a magic a magic icon. Well, hi there, Napkin Thief. Pleasure to have you in the program. Is it Overwatch this week? Asks Madman Max. It is indeed Overwatch this week. So, for those who are new to the program or who haven't been in a while, we have a new format where we do the show for a good 40 minutes to an hour or however long the show takes. Then we end the program complete with a smoke ship. And then after the program, I have a post-show gaming session with the fans where we will hop on to either Hearthstone or Overwatch, and have a good old time. So that's going to be the strategy for this week. All right, let's light up the cigar oven. I'm talking too much. This thing is not on fire, and that is a tragedy. Fire! Yeah. Where's the ashtray? You'd think I would have had an ashtray before the show started. And then a fire all over my legs. I'm an organized person, ladies. You can tell. You can tell. I am organized in every aspect. I thought it was right here. Well, this will have to substitute. Well, this is now my ashtray. Can you hear it? It's a lovely evening. It's raining. It's pouring out rain. So I've got my window open, and the smoke is slowly drifting out into the Pacific Northwest trees while the rain falls. Ah, it's lovely. Are you all right, Oxhorn? Everybody asks. Yes, I'm fine. I just had a big flaming piece of cedar in my hands and suddenly realized that I didn't have anywhere to place it. Where did my ashtray go? Oh, there it is. It's sitting over there. That's okay. I'll use that instead. And with that, Cloud Watcher 1336 is now following. Well, I'm glad my clumsiness is suitable for your amusement. That's fine. Cheers to you, good sir. Bottoms up. Chaotic Enigma says, what are we smoking and drinking this evening? We are smoking an Affluente Grand Reserve. My cigar stash has depleted itself. Or in a more active sense, I depleted my cigar stash. So I ordered some new cigars, but they haven't arrived yet. So I've got... There, that will be in my cigar holder. Perfect, so I don't burn things. So I've got a cigar shop nearby that I ran to before the show, and I just came back with my Grand Reserve. And then today we'll be drinking some more of this Canadian rye, which was a wonderful gift, and I've been slowly enjoying it over the past week. And I've got a big glass filled with ice here. This was given by a fan. Let's empty out some of that water. Oh man, it's nice and syrupy. Look at that. It's a thing of beauty. Madman Max says, I thought he was doing an impersonation of his car. Speaking of your car, Oxhorn, did you get a new one? He's talking about my old car that burned down last year. No, I have not gotten a new one. I've got my family car, which is the van. And I haven't bought a new one because I hate buying cars. I've bought a lot of cars in my lifetime, and every single time it's been miserable. And I was really pleased with myself when I bought my latest car, my van for the family, because I got a great deal on it. I really haggled the guy down, and I left him, whimpering in the corner. I walked away with such a great deal. And then I loaned my other car to my brother, and the next week it burns down. So I got a car just in time to lose a car, and I was drained. I have absolutely no energy to go and fight for another car. So anyway, Jake says, Oxhorn, have you thought about doing Fallout 4 machinimas? I have. In fact, I've got some fun ideas. But there are just... there's a lack of tool sets. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just lazy and I haven't looked them up. But with World of Warcraft, I was able to do machinima because of the Warcraft model viewer, which allowed me to place the models in front of green screens and blue screens, and then I could perform their animations and composite them together in post-production software. That's how I was able to do my machinimas. But with Fallout 4, I can't. I mean, you can't even control the emotes. There are fewer options when it comes to camera angles. So, I don't know. Maybe I just need a tutorial. I know it's possible. But I just need to look at it some more. Kanonker says, greetings, good sir. How's it going? It's going very well. Having a fine day. Cheers to you. Bottoms up. Chin chin. The dude in a mask says, this is intense. You wielded fire magic before our eyes. I do magic tricks here on the Scotch and Smoke Ring show, ladies and gentlemen. This is part of my gig. Richard Nixon asks, any ideas on what Vault experiments you'll perform once the Vault Tech DLC comes out? And then Rudude says, would you think we can redo Vault 111? These are all great questions. You know what? I haven't played the mobile game that Vault-Tec is based upon. I think it's like Fallout Tactics or something like that. I don't know. But I haven't played that game, so I don't know the mechanics that are involved. I'm sure I'll perform strange and twisted experiments upon my Vault dwellers. Who knows? The Bancy Fadger says, Source Filmmaker is used for most machinimas these days. People make direct rips of models from games. Oh. Sounds like it has potential. Oh, for 17 says, speaking of your brother, is he into Overwatch or is he busy with other stuff? He is busy with other stuff. He has a young family and a budding career. He barely has enough time to do his life stuff these days, let alone play video games. But he is playing one game, and I sadly don't remember the name of it. It's a game... Yeah. So there's the image in my mind of it, but I don't remember the name. It's on the PS4. He has a PS4. I want to say something like Dark Souls, but it's not Dark Souls. Okay, we've got a show to get through. Cigarox says 3 weeks from tonight is the 7-year anniversary of Scotch and Smoke Rings. 3 weeks from tonight? Oh my goodness, 3 shows. What am I going to do? I got to do something interesting. All right. This week in the news. 2 YouTube gamers caught in a gambling row. 2 YouTube gamers have been criticized for promoting a betting website to their viewers without clearly disclosing that they operated it. Trevor Martin and Tom Castle, known online as T. Martin and Syndicate Project, uploaded videos in which they appeared to win big prizes playing CS:GO Lotto. But it has emerged that the pair are presidents of the company, which is incorporated in Florida. Oh my goodness. A number of gambling websites have been built around the multiplayer first-person shooter game Counter-Strike Global Offensive. In CSGO, players can exchange real money for the chance to obtain a modified weapon known as a skin. Skins are a visual modification for your weapon, such as a golden gun. See, this is what I love about the Fallout community. Mods are free. people, out of their own talent and their own sweetness of hearts, sit down and make these beautiful, beautiful mods that add so much creativity to the game, that just make it so much more interesting and immersive, for lack of a better word. And it's free, and you can opt in to donate to them. If you really like the modder, you can follow that modder on Patreon or donate to that modder or just endorse them. And you don't have to worry about gambling. You don't have to worry about microtransactions. It's just shady, and I've never really been into that. People have said, "Hey, Oxhorn, now that you're doing YouTube again, you want to get into CS:GO?" And I'm sitting there going, "No, I really don't." I've seen videos online of these guys and guys like them freaking out over winning some sort of cool skin mod and doing the gambling thing, and it appeals to a part of a human being's personality and psyche that I don't think should be appealed to. It's kind of like, have you ever seen those videos of people sitting in front of slot machines and they sit there for 8, 9, 10 hours at a time waiting? They've already invested all this time and money into it. To give up now would be to admit failure, and so they defecate in the trash bins, and they don't eat, and they sleep on the floor. They become violent if you try and take them away from a machine. That kind of addictive thinking can happen here, and I don't really like gaming being associated with that, so that's why I never play these games and deal with that kind of gambling side of things. Gamma says, have you ever played Arma? It has a ton of mods as well that are free. And no, I haven't. I'm open to the idea of experimenting with new games. I've been playing a lot of Fallout. I love Fallout, and I've been having great success with my channel by playing Fallout. But I am trying to broaden my horizons and look for new games to play on YouTube, because obviously Fallout won't be around forever, and I want my channel to continue to be topical and relevant. So I am looking for new games. But I don't know, so I'll look into Arma. Gnome3308 says, "Hey Ox, I used to watch you regularly years ago. Your stream popped up on my feed. Good to see you again." Why, thank you, Gnome3309. Pleasure to have you on the program. And thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel. That's probably why it popped back up, my new YouTube channel. Gamma says, Arma is a military simulator that is very moddable. It has hundreds of different mods. Sounds like it's right up my alley. I'll have to check it out. Chaotic Enigma asks, is there a second chat? Yeah, so I'm doing something new. I'm streaming live on Twitch and YouTube at the exact same time. So I'm monitoring the YouTube chat and the Twitch chat. The worlds are converging. But this is why I've had to have a new little layout for the program, so that I can sort of organize my time a little bit better. The Banty Fadger says, I remember when Steam tried to put a paywall behind some Skyrim mods. Very thankful that was reversed. Yes, indeed. That sounds like it would be quite a bummer. I mean, it's their product. They can do what they want. I'm not going to say that that was evil or wrong of them, but it is the sort of thing where it's just going to make people less interested in playing with those mods, right? It's kind of like if I were to start putting paywalls on my videos. I put all my videos out there for free, for people to watch for free. Nobody has to pay. But of course I make my revenue from ads, from putting ads in my videos. But if I suddenly wanted more on top of that and put a bunch of paywalls on my videos, it would decimate my viewership. It would be a really bad idea. Deadly Drew 203 says, you should make an Oxhorn Plays YouTube channel where you play through new games every week, or you could play through WoW and maybe make Machinima again. Of course, he wound that back to making Machinima again. Like, sounds interesting. Who knows? Who knows about the future there? All right, more news. NVIDIA announces the GeForce GTX 1060 starting at $249, available July 19th. And everyone is excited about this. A new GeForce card. It's supposed to be like a mid-tier gaming card, but it's probably better than mine. I'm running an AMD 390, I think it is. It's an AMD R9 390. So it's outdated by a year. I could really do with an upgrade. But working on my computer. I love working on my computer. It's fun, but it always either what takes too much time or I make a big mistake, and then I lose, hours trying to fix it. So I'm not going to touch my computer for a little bit. Not going to touch my computer for a little bit. Excitingly, GPU season 2016 is now in full swing. In the last 2 months, we've seen the NVIDIA launch a pair of high-end cards, the Pascal-based GeForce GTX 1080 and GTX 1070. And just last week, rival AMD launched their first card based on their Polaris architecture, the mainstream-focused Radeon RX 480. Now that was a run-on sentence. Wow, that took a long time to read. So lots going on. I'm really excited as the year continues to wind to an end. We're going to be seeing a lot of high-end graphics cards come out, and I may need to take a look at my build again and reconfigure things. Gamma says the R9 390 is as fast as the GTX 970. Yeah, I originally had the GTX 970, and I returned it because it completely messed up my machine, and it's probably due to my own fault. But when I installed it in my motherboard, I couldn't. My computer wouldn't even turn on. Like, I would push the button and it would turn on, and it would black screen. I never even got a blue screen of death. I never got into DOS, and it was, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a conflict with my motherboard. But so I switched to the AMD R9 390, and that fixed it. So I didn't choose to be an AMD customer. I had to. I had to be because the GTX wouldn't work. But I'm happy with my video card. It was at an affordable price, and it's been doing great. My Fallout gaming has been a lot more fun ever since. Machinima Sean says, I made it! Hey, Oxhorn. Hey there, Machinima Sean. Pleasure to have you on the program. Rude Dude says, are these the same time each week? Indeed they are. I broadcast every week on Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So we started about 25 minutes ago. Chief Smash says, you must realize, Oxhorn, that a new Oxhorn WoW movie would get huge numbers of views and could be monetized to help your young family have some of the things they've always wanted. Oh my goodness. Oh, man. Appeal to the children. Oxhorn, don't you love your children? Don't you want to give them things like race cars and remote control helicopters and dollhouses? If you truly loved your children, you would get back into Warcraft Machinima, because that's where the money is. Look, I loved doing my Warcraft Machinima. I really, really did. I have fond memories of it, and memories they must remain. Because, and I'll tell you, it would take me a month or more to finish one video. To put that in context, I do one video a day. With my new Fallout channel, I do one video a day. And I've been doing one video a day for like 3 months straight. And it's been productive. My channel has grown from 6,000 to like, what am I at now? 16,000, something like that? But in today's climate, you have to do like a video a day or more. When Contraptions Workshop came out, I was doing 3 videos a day for an entire week. So, I would love to be able to sit down and work on a Warcraft Machinima again, but it's so time-consuming because I'm compositing layers and I'm using After Effects and I'm doing special effects that it's just not practical. Like, I can't... It's one of those things that that's why I always said, yes, when I become a millionaire, when I've got like $5 million in the bank, I can go back to doing World of Warcraft Machinima because money is no longer an issue. And then I can sit down and spend a month, 2 months on this masterpiece and then release it and everyone goes, ah, Oxhorn, yay, ah. But until then, I'm very pleased to be working on my Fallout videos. Fallout 4 Update 1.6, available via Steam Beta. 1.6 is actually live now. I hope you've all downloaded it. It comes with a number of fixes to Fallout 4, which I've been very pleased with. Second here. And the cool thing about this is they've now introduced the exit save. Have you all heard about that? Now, whenever you exit the game, it automatically saves. And this is a lifesaver for those of you playing on survival mode. Because now you don't have to go find a bed to save. You can just exit the game and it saves. Now, the downside to that is that, you know, what if you exit the game in the middle of a firefight? A firefight that you can't ever win. Well, then you're kind of stuck. Airsil says, Oxhorn, you have the potential to be very big in the gaming and Fallout community. Thank you. He says, you could be like MXR. Just knit mods. Well, I could be like MXR, but I have taken a look at some of his videos, and he has quite a fixation on... Let's see, how should I put this? The seedier side of the Fallout 4 modding community. Is that appropriate? I'm not overstating things, am I? And there's a market for that. But it's not my market. I try to keep things a little differently. Anyway, lots of great changes with the 1.6 update. I encourage you all to download it and install it. And also, the unofficial Fallout 4 patch. It's a mod on the Nexus and on Bethesda.net. Has been updated as of yesterday. And I encourage you to download and install it because it fixes a lot of settlement issues. I'm going to be doing a video on this, but I don't know if you've noticed it. Please tell me in the chat if you have noticed it. But if you are working on a really large settlement, you've put a lot of time and attention into it, and you've almost reached the build limit for your settlement. You've got like 25 to 30 settlers. If it's a large settlement, sometimes you can issue a settler a command, and it takes a minute, and then 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes, forever for them to actually get assigned to a new resource. Or you'll leave the settlement, and then suddenly your Pip-Boy will say that there are no beds, or there's no food. Now, they have identified and fixed a couple of papyrus issues in Fallout 4 that led to those problems. And that was one of the biggest frustrations about settlement building for me. In fact, while they were working on this, I went to the AFK Mods forum repeatedly to give them issues and share with them some of my experiences so that they could, you know, have some help nailing this problem down. And I haven't tested it extensively, but as of yesterday, I ran around to a few settlements, and it seems to have worked. So I encourage you to download the update to the unofficial Fallout 4 patch as well. Imagine Justin says, any fan art and messages today? Yes, we will get to recorded messages as soon as we finish the news. I'm not going to be doing fan art anymore. I think that it's a little complicated for me to share my screen with all of the different streams that I'm doing. But I will get to recorded messages here in a minute. So the Daily Star reports that when it comes to console mods for Xbox One and PS4, we are going to be getting far fewer options than are available on other modding platforms like Nexus Mods. And that is because Bethesda is going to be filtering them with a fine-toothed comb. Bethesda wants to make them family-friendly, which I can appreciate. But it does mean that you're going to have far fewer options, even when it comes to mods that you could potentially use in a safe for work or family-friendly way, but could also be used in a not family-friendly way. So, fewer choices on console, but I'm just really, really pleased that eventually we will be getting them all on consoles. One final thing on news here. So, remember when Todd Howard came out and said that Nuka World would be the final DLC? They kind of backstepped that a little bit and said, well, we're not really sure. And the reason for that is because Todd Howard isn't the final word on it. What they're saying is that Nuka World is the final planned DLC, but it's quite possible that the Fallout team could override that and say, look, there's enough enthusiasm out there, we made enough sales, people are crying for more, so we're going to go ahead and do some more DLC. So ultimately, it's kind of up to that team. And if we, as gamers, love Nuka World enough and we buy it en masse and we're constantly hammering for more content, it's quite possible they could come up with more DLCs. Right now, Nuka World is the last planned one, but anything could happen. Airsil says, the Pip-Boy on mine sometimes identifies settlements with like 54 settlers, not enough beds, no water, and most recently, most of the time I cannot build bars or restaurants at all. The option just doesn't pop up. Yeah, that actually happens to me in Far Harbor settlements more often than anything else. There are many Far Harbor settlements where the option to build a dog cage doesn't appear, or the option to build a bar doesn't appear. There have been some times when I've gone into the workshop and the bar appears, and then I go back into the workshop and the bar disappears, and I can't build it. So when it comes to Far Harbor settlements, I'm not sure what's going on. But the issue of unreported settlers, or the wrong number of beds and the wrong number of water, which can lead to happiness issues, which can destroy a settlement's happiness, those, to my knowledge, have been resolved with the latest unofficial Fallout 4 patch that you can get on both Nexus Mods or Bethesda.net. So I encourage you all to go download and install that if you're really into settlement building, because it'll make your life so much easier. Mr. Jow says blow some smoke rings. All right. Well, I am not about false representations here, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. Those were more like smoke puffs. Let's try this again. There you go. A few good ones there. This week in technology. Technology is installed on the International Space Station to make solar system-wide internet a reality. Great. So, we no longer have to worry about just being hacked by North Korea or China. Now we have to worry about being hacked by Mars, Pluto. Oh wait, Pluto's not a planet, right? This week in neuroscience, scientists uncover evidence of a sixth sense that allows humans to discern magnetic fields. Really? Now, it has long been theorized that migrating birds have some sort of sixth sense that allows them to detect magnetic fields, which is why they can, without fail, every single year, pick up from the Horn of Africa and sail north to one tiny little rock in Iceland, or something like that. So, it's good to know that this sixth sense is not restricted just to the animal kingdom, that humanity can leverage it as well. This week in the environment. A prototype is released for a 100-kilometer-long barrier that cleans our oceans of trash. Cool. You know what? To go along with that, I recently read that bacteria has finally evolved to the point where it can eat plastic. And that's really quick. Like in the last 30 years, the sheer magnitude of plastic in our oceans and in our environments has forced bacteria to evolve at such a fast pace that it only took 30 years for them to evolve the ability to eat and decompile plastic. That's pretty cool, huh? Hey, Raven says, I searched for Oxhorn on YouTube because of memories. And I saw you online. Hey, welcome to the program. We do this every Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Glad to have you here. Mr. J of WoW123 says, drink some scotch. You know what? How can I say no to that? Cheers. Bottoms up. This week in medicine, scientists discover that THC inhibits the formation of plaque that causes Alzheimer's. Whoa! That's huge! The medical marijuana community is probably really thrilled about that. This week in artificial intelligence, AI running on a $35 Raspberry Pi beats Air Force tactile experts in combat simulations. Well, that's encouraging. So the United States Air Force, with billions of dollars in its defense budget, with the best scientists working on artificial intelligence, can get beat by a hacker with a $35 Raspberry Pi. That makes me feel safe. Everybody excited about that one? All right, now for recorded messages. First on the program is Imagine Justin. What is on your mind, good sir?
Greetings, good Sir Oxhorn. Maj and Justin here. I apologize if this sounds a little loud, but here we go. I had gotten me the penny whistle in the key of D from Amazon, and it's quite nice. But I got a question for you. Are you willing to actually make penny whistle lessons and post them up onto YouTube?
That's a great question. Sorry for being... I'm trying to find my penny whistle. I had it. I was going to join you in a penny whistle jam, but apparently I've lost my penny whistle. It's here somewhere, lying on the ground or under a desk. See, I told you at the beginning of the show, I'm an organized individual, right? I've got my ashtray and my penny whistle ready. Well, penny whistles are there are plenty of wonderful tutorials online on how to play the penny whistle that are far better than mine, than any of the ones that I could make. I mean, I enjoy a good penny whistle, and I can play it decently, but I am nowhere near at the peak of some of these guys that you can find on YouTube just jamming on a penny whistle. So I encourage you to look for penny whistle tutorials. And here's how I learned. I didn't look at notes. I didn't, take lessons. I just listened to Irish folk songs and then tried to replicate them on the penny whistle. You do that long enough and you repeat it over and over and over again, and you're going to be good to go. You're going to be good to go. Next on the program is Madman Max. What's on your mind?
Greetings, Oxhorn. Tis I, Madman Max here, once again to bring you another delightful question. That's a fine art now. 4 seconds. Woohoo! Which of the characters that you voiced did you have the most fun voice acting? Was it Hat, the singing turtle, Oxhorn, the marvelous druid, or one of the others? Have a lovely evening and enjoy your delicious scotch.
Well, that's easy. My absolute favorite character to voice was Associate Professor Evil. And I don't know why. I can't explain it. Does it appeal to some darker part of my nature? I don't know. I don't think so. But his voice is just so angry and resonant, and I love it. I also enjoyed doing Thunk, the ogre. He was always a lot of fun. Those would be my top two. Oxhorn was fun too. Oxhorn was more of like a laid back kind of surfer dude guy. Like he just nothing could bother him. He was like his favorite movie is probably the Big Lebowski or something like that. Nothing bothers him. He's laid back. All right, next on the program is Ninja of WoW. What is on your mind, good sir?
Greetings, Sir Oxhorn. Greetings, Sir Oxhorn. This is Jason, also known as Ninja WoW. I coming to you over the internet to ask some questions to a awesome man as yourself. I'm wondering, how do you start a YouTube channel and what stuff as into the programs to use?
Oh, that was innocent enough. I totally thought that was going to go off in a different direction, but it didn't. So thank you for that, Ninja of WoW. Was that really Ninja of WoW? Dude in a mask says, do Lieutenant Colonel Virtue's laugh, please. All right. Barnaby! Yes! Kill all the beggars in Orgrimmar! You see, his laugh and his voice is a lot of fun. If I'm having a rough day, sometimes I'll just come into my garage and go, and then all is better in the world, right? Cheers. Ninja Wall says I would never do that to you. Okay, good. Ninja Wall, to answer your question. My advice when starting a new YouTube channel. Devin Wilkerson says this was a very strange time to join in the stream. Yes, I'm sure without the context that was quite disturbing. Anyway, Jake Fang says clapping in horror. Yes, I can see exactly what that's like. That's how I imagine you clapping. What was I saying? Oh yeah, starting a new YouTube channel. My advice is this. Do your research beforehand, because once you commit to it, it consumes your time. All of your free time. Pick a game that you actually enjoy, that you don't get bored of, that you have a lot to say about, where you feel like you can contribute to the community. Pick a game that you love doing research about, that has many different facets, that is not going to bore you. Then, start slow, create a YouTube channel, start publishing videos, start slow until you develop a pace. Because you're eventually going to need to get to a pace where you're doing one video a day when you first start out. Now, the problem with this is that it's very easy to slip into a content over quality situation where you're more concerned about hitting your daily video every single day and less concerned about the quality of the video. And you can't do that, because if you ever get to the point where you're hitting your daily video, but the quality is really low, or you're just not putting effort into it, then people are going to get turned off by that, and they're not going to subscribe. You want to make sure that every video you publish is going to entice people to subscribe, because you're just that useful, or you're that funny, or you're that interesting, or you're helping them out with a tough situation. Madman Max says, I love that laugh. Whenever your children are naughty, do you say, no dessert for you? As Lieutenant Colonel Virtue. No, that's more like the soup Nazi, right? From no soup for you. Sebastian says, do a smoke ring. There you go, my friend. Anyway, and then find online communities where you can post your content without getting in trouble. And I say that because a lot of people hate self-promotion. And so what I do is I make my videos as useful as I can, and then I'll go to the Fallout 4 subreddit, and I'll try and share them on Reddit. And to be honest, it's kind of hit and miss. Probably 60% of the videos I post to Reddit don't get any traction at all. But then the other 40% sometimes get a little bit of traction. So, it's going to completely depend upon the game that you choose to champion, that you choose to be yours. Finally on the program is Andy the DK. What's on your mind, good sir?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Scotch Watch. And now, here is your host, Andy the DK. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Scotch Watch, the brand new game show featured on Scotch and Smoke Rings, where I, your host, Andy the DK, will ask our host, Mr. Oxhorn,
Oh, no.
2 Overwatch questions and 1 Scotch whiskey question.
Oh, man.
Can he get all 3 right and become the ultimate Scotch Watch hero?
No.
Let's find out. Let's introduce him now. Hello, Mr. Oxhorn. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Welcome to the very first episode of Scotch Watch. It is great to have you. Let's get right into the questions, shall we?
Sure.
Question number 1. What is the character's Reaper real name? Question number 2.
How am I supposed to know
How
that?
many blinks does Tracer have before she has to recharge? And question number 3. Where did Scotch whiskey originally originate from? Was it A, Scotland, B, Ireland, or C, Greenland? Thank you, everyone, for playing, and thank you, Ox, for answering. Until next time, this is Andy the DK reminding you all to stay classy, heroes.
Music. There we go. I'm guessing Scotland because it is called Scotch and Scotch is from Scotland, but I'm sure it's a trick question. I'm sure it came from like Ireland or something. But I'm gonna say Scotland. Madman Mech says 3. So 3. Tracer has 3 little teleports. I'm just guessing. That's my guess. You're going to have to let me know. Kentucky says disrespect. No. Kentucky does bourbon. Bourbon is a completely different thing from Scotch. In fact, good Kentucky bourbon is actually brewed or stored in old Scotch barrels. Or is it the other way around? It is the other way around. It's the bourbon barrels that are sent to Scotland to produce Scotch. All right. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're running into the end of the program, so as we do here on Scotch and Smoke Rings, we do the program for a good hour, and then we end the program and go right into an Overwatch session where I'll play with the fans. For those on YouTube, we'll be migrating to Twitch, and you're more than welcome to join me on Twitch TV to watch me play Overwatch with all of you. And it's a first-come, first-served sort of thing, so there are no RSVPs. I log into the game, and the first invite I get, I accept. That's the way it goes. So please don't beg me to play with you and you alone. It's one of those first-come, first-served sort of things. So, but first up is the smoke ship. What is on your mind, ladies and gentlemen? What would you like to see? The Bancy Fadger says, it's long. He says, the Scotch and Smoke Rings platoon piloting a ship of smoky bourbon-glazed bacon across a sea of molten cheeses. The ship featured a mast and a bow made from 2 massive cigars, a deck formed by massive bacon strips, bazookas that shoot rings of smoke, and Greg Hartung riding a unicycle made from a T-bone steak. The creativity of my viewers is... I love it. The whole ship was powered by a certain fancy badger, using the souls of fallen hippies, the byproduct of which happened to be delicious Canadian whiskey for the crew to enjoy? Are you saying that you're using the souls of dead hippies as fuel for the ship, which then produces in its exhaust Canadian whiskey? What on earth? That's great. So that's where Canadian whiskey comes from. The souls of dead elves. Yes, son. That's where it comes from. Alright, any other submissions before we move on? Is that it? Is that our only contender? Speak now or forever hold your peace, because we're going to have dead elves and souls and stuff. Alright. Alright, here. Oh, here's one from Ninja of WoW. Ox's family on a waffle on orange juice, while Oxhorn himself is giving YouTube advice. More 2-cent staghorn are chasing around Scotch-hating hippies with bacon. Short, sweet, succinct, it had everything we hated and everything we loved. I think somebody hacked into my printer, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe that's a neighbor's way of telling me that I'm too loud. Anyway, where was I? Alright, smoke ship time. Pay close attention. Here we go. Get your screenshot button ready. Wow! Did you see it? For the briefest of moments before your very eyes was a beautiful ship made from smoke. It was the Scotch and Smoke Rings gang piloting a ship of smoky bourbon blaze bacon, that's what it was made from, across the sea of molten cheese. The ship featured a mast and bow made from 2 massive cigars, and a deck formed by massive bacon strips, bazookas that shot rings of smoke, and Greg Hartung riding a unicycle made from a T-bone steak. I guess that's just on the deck for entertainment. Is he our jester? Okay. The whole ship was powered by Fancy Badger using the souls of fallen hippies, the byproduct of which happened to be delicious Canadian whiskey for the crew to enjoy. Oh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Nicely done. Alright, Andy the DK is giving us the answers to his quiz. The answer to question number 1 is Gabrielle Reyes. The answer to question number 2 is Tracer has 3 blinks. And the answer to question number 3 is... The oldest reference to the production of whiskey is not in fact Scotland, but in Ireland, where it is believed that monks began distilling spirits as far back as the 5th century. The first reference from Scotland is found in the Exchequer Rolls, the accounting records of the royal finances, in 1494, where an allowance was made for 8 bowls of malt to Friar John Core, wherewith to make aquavitae, the water of life. So there you go, only on Scotch and Smoke Rings do you realize that the best liquor in the world is due to the efforts of Christianity. You're welcome. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to end the program there. Stay tuned, because we are going to be taking this over to Twitch, where we will do some live streaming of Overwatch, and if you are interested in that, be sure to swing on by. Let me give you a link to my Twitch channel. There you go, it's just twitch.tv/Scotch and Smoke Rings, all one word. All right, so thank you so much for coming. This has been your neighborhood friendly Oxhorn. Be sure to tune in next week. Same Ox time, same Ox channel here at YouTube or Twitch, whatever your favorite is. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, let us lift our glasses and take a sip. Let us lift our cigars and take a puff. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, be sure that each and every one of you stays classy. I'll be right back.